Okay, as I said, today we'll be doing oral. I think it's not so content heavy, and also because it's still your holidays, I don't want to overload you with like compre and compo. Okay. If possible, please turn on your video, okay, everybody. Right. I've shared screen already, right? Okay. Now, because we've got one new student, so I'm just going to go through very quickly some of the house rules. One thing is you're highly encouraged to turn on your video. Okay. I made it compulsory for my primary school students, but secondary school students, I think I'm a bit more lenient. Like, I can understand sometimes you just want to have your own privacy, but you need to make sure that when I ask you questions, you can answer. Yeah. That tells me that you've been paying attention. Okay. Now, if you need to go toilet, Isabel can just go and maybe just drop me a text in the chat. Yeah. If you want to ask questions, you can also same thing, type in the chat, or you can also click on the reaction button and just raise your hand. Okay, and then you'll be prioritized in front, and I'll be able to ask you to answer the question. Okay. Okay, now in terms of oral communication, I think we've gone through like stresses, we've gone through like where to stress the syllable. We've also gone through like pronunciation, right? So today we are talking about fluency. Now, why is it important? I know that I think I've informed you that your reading aloud component has been removed. Okay, but in terms of speaking with the examiner during oral exam, you do need to make sure that you're still fluent. Okay, doesn't mean fluency means only reading aloud. When we're speaking to someone, we need to make sure that we're speaking fluently, and we are also paying attention to phrasing as well. Okay, avoid reading word for word, then it will become very monotonous, right? So you do need to make sure you put appropriate pauses here and there. So one example in the slides be, Polly put the kettle on, right? So there's a pause in between. Polly put the kettle on. You don't say Polly put the kettle on. Although I think those kindergarten students, when they sing this song, they will sing word for word. Okay. But when reading it out as a sentence, you need to make sure you've placed appropriate pauses here. Okay. So Polly put the kettle on. Yeah. The next one, I love the sounds of the sea. Okay. You do not say I love the sounds of the sea. Right? Then it becomes monotonous. Okay, I love the sounds of the sea. So it sounds better, right? It's a bit more fluent, yeah? Okay, now let's take a look at the next page. So that's fluency. Then in terms of speaking, we also want to be mindful of our pace. Pace means how fast or how slow we actually read a sentence. Okay, and sometimes the pace also depends on the content of the sentence. If it's something that you want to imply like excitement, then you might want to read it faster. Okay, if it's something that you want to imply like slow, something is slow, then maybe you might want to just read slower. Okay, so there are two examples over there. The wind blew quickly, bringing the entire row of houses down like a pack of cards. Okay, so you might want to just read a bit faster because you want to create that kind of impact on your examiner. You want the examiner to be able to relate to the situation as well. Okay, now when it comes to slow, then the situation like, for example, the morning hour traffic was slow and the cars crawled like snails on the rail. Okay, so that is reading slower because you are suggesting slow traffic, right? So you don't want to, when you read it, it's just got to be a bit smart about it, right? You want to imply slow, you read a bit slower. Okay. So does reading at the appropriate pace help to convey the meaning of each sentence? I definitely think it does, right? Because one is fast and one is slow. Okay, now next one is rhythm. Okay, we've gone through fluency, we've gone through pace. Now we're going to talk about rhythm. Okay, using the appropriate rhythm when reading, that means we place more emphasis on certain word classes like nouns, verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. Okay. So the slash on top means that we are going to read the word louder and slower. Polly, right? Put the kettle on. Okay. So Paul, if you notice, is louder, a bit slower. Lee is just quick, right? Polly, put the kettle on. Yeah. So this one is basically emphasis and also on the rhythm. Okay. Next one. I love, right? I love the sounds of the sea. Okay. So we don't necessarily emphasize on all syllables. We need to be selective about it, and then therefore we'll create rhythm. Okay. It has got to be appropriate rhythm and not just rhythm anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Now next one. Oh, okay. So we are done with this. In terms of this one, I'd like you to have a discussion. Okay, let's just quickly watch this video. I've read your responses. In fact, a lot of you have submitted your homework, which I'm very happy about it. Any of you would like to contribute to the discussion? What is this scene about?
Spin the wheel, man.
Spin the wheel. Okay, let me see. Let me put your names in first, so that I can get people to respond. Okay, great. Let's spin the wheel to get a response. Oh, Kit Ming. Okay, Kit Ming, is this scene familiar to you?
No.
No, not at all. Yeah. Actually, I've seen it somewhere on the TV, but definitely not something that I've experienced it personally. It's actually called the floating market in Bangkok. Or maybe Thailand. It might not be just be in Bangkok city. It might be in other parts of Thailand as well. So it's like a market. It's like a, those fresh food market, right? Wet market. But they actually put their produce, like vegetables, fruits, on sampan. Okay, like a small canoe like that. Yeah. So that is it. If you're not sure what is it, I mean, if you do not know what exactly it is, but I think you can also roughly tell from the image that a lot of people are on the boats are just shifting around, and what else is on the boat, right? Like you can see bananas, I think coconuts as well, then people wearing the hats, right? The straw hats, sitting on it, rowing the boat. Okay, so this is basically the prompt that your oral examiner is going to give it to you. Okay, and I think I've gone through it before. I'm just going to say it one more time. You will be marked on 2 components, 15 marks each. Yeah, and one of it is they will give you the prompt, something like that. Then you will be given a question which you have to plan your response before you even go to the examiner. Okay, so that's 15 marks. The other 15 marks comes from when you have a conversation with the examiner. So that will be just very open-ended. So 15 marks each, 30 marks. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the prompt question now. Do you enjoy traveling? Why or why not? Okay, I think we have plenty of time today. So what I'll do is I'll just put you into groups first. 2, 4, 6, 7 people today. Okay, I'll split you up into 2 groups, 3 and 4, and I'd like you to share, okay, do you enjoy traveling and why or why not? Then later when we come back, we'll get someone to share all the sharings in the group. Okay, so how much time do you need for that? I think 5 minutes will do. Yeah, so I'm going to randomly put you into 2 breakout rooms, and then you can have your discussion. Okay, you can enter your breakout rooms. Okay, I think Kiran and Kabilan are not back yet. We'll just wait for them to come back, okay? And then we can get one person from the group to share your sharings, yeah? Kabilan is not back yet. Okay, yeah, Kabilan is back. Okay, we have Kiat Ming's group to share first. Okay, Kiat Ming, Isabel, Kieran, and Sherman. So do you enjoy traveling? Why or why not? Can we have someone from the group to share?
I do like traveling a lot.
Okay.
Because you get to share the memories. Since we have a phone, we can just take some of the places that we visited, like tourism places that need to be gone to. And then after a few years, when we check on the photos, it'll be like a memory and like, yeah.
Okay, so it's mainly, I think, for the memories that you want to create, you know, when you're over somewhere, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, so Harash group. Anyone would like to add on to that, Kabilan and Tojin, because you're in the same group as Harash, right? Oh, Kabilan type something. Yes, well, traveling to me is basically to learn about new culture and tradition. I actually like to learn new culture. As you know, the new generation is about growth mindset. This actually helps with your life in many ways. For example, you found about a habit that helps with your daily life and you want to include it in daily routines. Yes, I do like to travel around the world. That is a very I would say that is a very interesting mindset that you have. It's all about growth mindset. I think for Kapilan, he would like to just go to different countries and look at what is the way of life for other cultures and traditions, right? So in this case, when you understand how actually people's way of life is, it might also inspire you to basically do things differently and maybe just cultivate a habit. I think that's a very good point of view. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna move on to Kiat Ming's group. Kiat Ming, Isabel, Kieran, and Sherman. Anyone? Anyone from the group would like to contribute? If not, then I will spin the wheel. Then someone from the group has to say, yeah. Okay, Kiat Ming. Okay, Kiat Ming will represent the class, his group, to answer this question. So do you enjoy traveling? Why or why not? Okay, Kiat Ming says you enjoy traveling. Why? This is just a pointer. Make sure that you have your explanation, your elaboration, and examples. I think for oral exam, it will be good if you can give personal experience to interest your examiner. Because I can explore different culture, okay, that is your elaboration part. You might want to share some of your personal experiences. Oh, and different types of food. That's a good point. Nobody else said food just now. Okay, I think they call it, there's a term called foodie, right? If you're a foodie, you will be like looking everywhere for good food and you just want to, you know, um, really enjoy the food. Okay, so I think that's a good point. Yeah, different culture, different food, different cuisine. Although actually Singapore is quite a melting pot of like different cuisines, different cultures together, right? Everything is like, they call it the rojak. But I guess it's quite different when it's like it's an authentic experience when you're like overseas, right? Trying out food from other countries. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Now, next one is the same one again.